here. Apologies if I sneeze, which I'm about to do. But I'm in sneezing fits today. Okay, so it's been a day or two since I last did a bit of work on the shelves. I said I wanted to let them dry fully, which I have. I need to give them a quick inspection, especially these two pieces that I treated with the Nitro Moors. I need to see if it's done the job, needs a bit more, caused any damage, or anything like that. Before looking at it though, my plan for today was to hopefully try and get these to the situation where I'm like, right, they're ready now for varnish. But by that, I mean all the prep work is done. But then I suppose actually doing any minor repairs is part of the prep work. So it's kind of like all of the stripping, the chemical stuff, I want that to try and get that finished today. Which also means that I need to get this done, because I've been forgetting about that completely. Busy doing all this stuff. It's not until I finish, get up, turn around and see that and go, oh fuck yeah, I've got that to do. So I need to try and get that done today. That doesn't appear to have had anywhere near as much stuff on it. So we'll see how that goes. Will it need both sides? Not really, but I'll do both. Because then I know that it's cleaned now. I will mention that I'm struggling big time today. My back, I mentioned on the last video that my back has been really bad recently. It's got very bad again. But not only that, I'm having some real problems with my left hip, which is really causing me some problems. But anyway, I'm still going to try and get this stuff done. So, obviously as you can tell as well, I've moved the camera because I'm going to, hopefully if everything is alright with these, I'm going to hopefully be able to sort of treat all five sort of together for the sort of the last time. I could really do with cleaning that out. I probably should have got prepared before I started recording, but anyway. Right, so we've got the shelves, which they haven't seen any Nitro Moors yet, but I do still want to give them at least one coating with that. So let's have a look at how the pieces have got on that I was working on. Okay, so that side, that looks fine. That side though, that needs some more. Yeah, that needs a bit more. Which I'm not surprised at, because that was the side that I only started on the last video. And to be fair, same for this one. That side doesn't look too bad. This side needs some more. So I know that I do still need to work on those. Okay, regarding the shelves, as I said, I want to give these another coating anyway. So it'll be interesting to see how the darker side of these will look. Yeah, it looks like it could definitely do with one more. That definitely needs a bit more. And that needs a bit more really. And yeah, on the other side. So bucket. So they all still need more, really. So that's what I'm basically going to try and get on with today. Let's see, shall I? I'll go the top side on those first. Shall I? No, let's go for the bottom side. The bottom side's going to be. I'm having to think about what I'm going to do here, because if I do the bits that are going to take a bit more work first, I can try and get them done and get that out of the way. So the more I struggle, the less difficult the task should be. There's a risk though that if I do that, then I'm going to wipe myself out in the first 5 minutes. But if I do it the other way around, I could get the easier stuff done, but I could still get wiped out in the first 5 minutes and not getting all the tougher stuff done. So I'm thinking, let's get the tougher stuff done. Right. Oh, okay, so all 5 of these are going to need basically treating, and the thing is, because there's a few of them, I can work them kind of all together. Something I am going to need to do though is where is it? I'm going to need to sort out my wire wool, which is over there. So I'm going to need to get that chopped up, so I'll do that, and then actually I'll do it now while I'm talking. There's no need to stop the recording, but it's just with this stuff I prefer to get it sort of pre-cut, because it makes a mess, and trying to cut it with the big scissors, what the fuck are you talking about, Dave? Trying to cut it with the big gloves on is impossible. But then it would also mean that the big gloves, which will have chemical on, will get on the scissors and then it spreads. And I don't need that shit. Right. I know I was saying on the last videos as well that I've been sleeping well, same again last night. Had a decent meal. I was in bed, 10, 11 o'clock, something like that. Slept 3-4 hours, that was it. I was up, couldn't get back to sleep. Back was killing, hip was killing, had to get up. I was then up until about 11 o'clock AM, that is. And then so was it up till 11 o'clock? I went back to bed at some point and then slept for another 2-3 hours. So it's, my whole body clock is absolutely all over the place at the minute. I ain't got a fucking clue what day it is. Might need that, but I'll leave the torso for a moment. Yeah, I ain't got a clue what day it is, and anyway, right, need to pour some of the stuff out, get my gloves on and crack on. So I was going to move the camera a bit so we can see more of what I'm working on. And one of the reasons why I've not had the camera facing this way recently is because with the window, if it's daylight out there, it fucks up what you can see. I am so annoyed. I'm fucking looking for stuff that's right in front of me. Mask. Now I'm hoping to have as much success with this today as we did last time, because if we do, then woohoo! And if we don't, then oh, for fuck's sake, it's going to go on to another day. Ah. Right. I'll tell you what, I'm extremely glad that I took these shelves apart. Trying to do this while it was still together. Holy shit. That had been a pain in the backside. Now, with the shelves, not shelves, these are the shelves. With the cabinet I've got an old cabinet that I'm still to work on. With that, I believe I can take the top off, which I noticed and I thought, okay, I was thinking about doing that anyway, but having treated this with this stuff, I think, yeah, definitely, I take the top off, because then I can treat the top while I'm sitting down rather than at an awkward height. But also it makes the whole unit easier, because I can get to the inside easier, hopefully. Now you see that I'm not sort of brushing it in a normal manner. I'm not like going with the grain or anything like that. And that's because you don't have to with this stuff, and there's not a lot of point in actually going with the grain, because what you want to do is remove all the finish, and as it says on the instructions, you don't want to brush it out, and by that it means brushing it so thin. So if I was doing that, I'd basically be brushing it out, and that's not what I would be doing. Now obviously I wouldn't go applying a varnish like this, but oh jeez, I really am struggling. I'm quite glad that I sorted out today's dinner yesterday, because I would not want to be stood there trying to cook a meal today where I can barely bloody stand, and my back is absolutely killing me. I think in a way I think I need to get new furniture. My armchair is a little old now, and I don't think it's quite as, well, not that I think, well I do think, but not very often. Yeah, it's not as comfortable as it used to be, and yeah, I'm not really in a situation where I can go splashing out money on a new chair. I mean, I've been wanting to keep an eye on, well, not keep an eye, I've been wanting for some time to be able to get a sofa, but there's no way that I could move one. And it would have to be the right sofa, because I do like having an armchair. And but yeah, we've got to be a little careful of funds with the way 2020's been and not knowing how 21's going to go. I mean, it's going to sound stupid this, but a number of years ago, what, 6 years ago now, as for anyone that's been watching my videos for, well, pretty much since the start, you'll know that there's a story of some rough times, and the day before those rough times was the day that my first appliance purchase arrived. So the first big thing that I bought for myself, for my apartment, which was a fridge freezer, turned up, and then the next day my whole world pretty much fell apart. And I think there is now an inbuilt fear of the same thing happening. Go and buy a piece of furniture, we'll get a sofa or something, and then something else happens. And it's a stupid theory, it's a stupid thing to be fearful of, but it's that, it's just that connection. That's the way the human mind works sometimes. Okay, so I'm just going to keep sort of working this stuff in a bit, as we know. Well, as we now know, it kind of says give it 5 minutes to really blister. Now, what I will say is I'm not seeing anywhere near as much reaction on these as I did the other day, but that's a good thing. Well, I'm looking at it as a good thing. I see it as that must mean there's not much left on them. So the more reaction, the more stuff there is it's trying to get rid of. So I'm quite happy at the moment that it's not looking like, and I'm not moving mountains of gunk. There's some stuff. Jesus, my back is fucked. When you think about it, sort of like with how the human mind works. I mean, let's say for example, somebody's parents are diabetic, so perhaps they avoid sweets and chocolates and things like that, because if they have too much, they could have serious issues, potentially, depending on how bad the diabetes is, it could potentially kill them if they have too much sugar. Have too much sugar, have a hypo, could die. Have not enough sugar, could have a hypo, could die. As a child, that could put a lot of fear into you. It could even make you think that something like chocolate is deadly. You don't like it. You don't want it, you don't like it because it's dangerous, it's deadly. But yes, unfortunately, it's one of those things where actually chocolate is bloody lovely, but in certain situations, like if you happen to be diabetic, then yeah, could definitely be a problem. But it could be that that's what it makes you think. I mean, similar to if you have dogs. I mean, chocolate that's for human consumption is deadly for dogs, can be deadly for dogs. Although I'm sure I would have mentioned about how my mum and dad's dogs last year ate a whole tray of Ferrero Rocher, a box of wine gums, licorice, all sorts, and were fine. Well, I say they were fine, they had the shits for a bit, but talking to Mum over Christmas as well about how it's been a year since George, their dog, had his operation, or 2 operations. The poor fella. Thankfully seems to have been a lot better this year. It took him a long time to get over the operations, but he's done well. He even woke me up on Christmas Day, or Boxing Day, one of the two. Boxing Day, woke me up on Boxing Day. Gently as well, which was a surprise. Anyway, right, let's get a little bit of these down. Like I said, I've not been seeing a massive amount of reaction, and to be honest, I wouldn't be expecting to see loads of gunk. No. So there's a bit, but not loads, and that to me just suggests that there's not a lot really left on them, which is good. Spin around so I can work this end a little more. Much happier with how that's looking now. Swap it around. Now, I'm not going to be looking at trying to get any varnish put on these today, because I'm going to want them to completely dry up. So when I finish this, I'll give them a clean up and then let them properly dry, give them a day or two. Before I try treating them. But I have been thinking again about whether I'm going to go with clear varnish or dark oak. Part of me is thinking to go with the dark oak. Especially on the lighter veneer, and see if it brings up a bit of colour that brings it closer to the darker veneer. And then use the clear coat over the whole thing from then on. I'm not going to make that decision though until I have sort of really finished cleaning these up. I've got them repaired, everything's done. Because that, it won't be until then that I can get a really good look at oh, excuse me, at how they are really looking. Pop it on. So there's still not loads of gunk coming up, which is a good thing. Might be different on these now, because these three haven't been treated with the nitro moors yet. Yeah, it is brilliant more. But obviously these have had a couple of bits of treatment already with the other stuff. I mean, I am still having to scrub it a bit, but nowhere near as much as I was with that other stuff. Spin this around. I'll have to give that door a wipe down. I may end up losing some paint off it. I actually need to check my tenancy agreement at some point, see what it says about decorating the place, because I've been here, what, 6 years now, so if there's any kind of sort of need to paint it within the last 3 years, blah blah blah, and when you move out then it's something that I can look at doing at some point, perhaps over the winter period where it's going to be a little colder and we're definitely not going to be going outside. Looking a lot better than that. Also, we're still on the first piece of wire wool. Now okay, I'm not taking anywhere near as much stuff off, but I think because it is so much more effective, it's breaking the finish down so much better. I mean, one way of looking at this as well is, I know why I'm going to say what I say, but it's because I was thinking about, for example, if Holly was watching this and was thinking, why are you spending this much time with chemicals, why don't you just sand it? Well, okay, I've already explained how it damaged the wood, but to put it into perspective, it might be, one analogy would be, if a woman was going to paint her nails, she'd want to remove any nail polish that is already on there before applying new stuff. And how would she do that? She wouldn't sand it off. She'd use the nail varnish remover. It's basically exactly the same principle here. But don't just go dipping your fingers in any old chemical. You will end up hurting yourself. As I've said many times before, use the right tool for the job. Which is one of the reasons why all of the projects I work on are never fucking perfect, because I'm definitely not the right tool. And it's come up so much cleaner. Well, nitro moors, you would definitely go on my recommend list. I don't often leave reviews about things online and stuff like that. There's a couple of things that I have done, like with Halfords and how they've dealt with my car, and the odd couple of things that I've had off Amazon that have been brilliant, like some like the Velcro cable ties, fucking brilliant. I've ordered many of them, highly recommend them. But I must admit, over the last couple of days with this nitro more stuff, it has actually made me think about going on to the B&Q website and basically putting a review on the other stuff and going, it's not bad, but this stuff is a hell of a lot fucking better. I mean, the thing, I know that these have been treated numerous times, but I can see just how much more I'm able to get off with this stuff. And I think, like I said, I know it's not that it's coming off easier because it's been previously treated, because those two hadn't, and it fucking came off piece of piss. Okay, so I'm very happy with how they've come up there, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to get myself a fresh piece of, I was about to go, shit, no bin liner, but it would have sounded like I was going to say, get myself a fresh piece of shit. What I want to do is turn these over now. Give all of these a bit of a working on those edges. Right, what I'm going to do though is looking at the looking at my video, almost out of memory on it, so I shall go and get that swapped over. We'll be back in a minute.